Hello, everybody. Welcome to the weekly agriculture virtual networking session of Empower Africa. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. My name is Shai Bernstein. I'm VP of Business Development and Operations at Empower Africa. And we're going to have this recurring event, a weekly networking event, every Wednesday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. We'll be hearing from global thought leaders and networking with members of the agriculture ecosystem around the world. Before I present our distinguished guest, for those of you who are joining us for the first time, Empower Africa is a business community with a mission to drive investment, trade, and job creation in Africa. We believe in trade over aid. We believe that business is the best way to build things and make a difference. There are three verticals in the company. The first is the Empower Africa Business Network. The second are events and trade missions. And the third is consulting and project facilitation. We believe in bringing good people together. We believe in the tremendous power of synergy. Our Empower Africa business community is an invite-only and paid membership, and we want to make sure that we have good, honest people who can add value to each other in the community. I want to show you a 40-second video about our platform and sponsorship opportunities. So just bear with me for one moment. So now, as we move on, as you can see, this is a virtual networking platform where you can come and meet great people, potential business partners, investors, experts, and much more. Our goal is to create connections, optimize communication, and maximize the collaboration that can be done. The business community brings together all of the relevant stakeholders of the agriculture ecosystem. Like I mentioned, it's startups, entrepreneurs, investors, banks, private equity funds, VCs, farmers, import and export, governments, multinational enterprises, and much more. Speaking of good people and bringing good people together, it is my pleasure and honor to welcome today's thought leader and today's speaker, Roy Peleg. Roy Peleg is the CEO of Growing Smart and LNC. He's an experienced agro-technology and agribusiness expert with one of the leading influencers in the evolving area of agri-tech worldwide. He is the founder and CEO of Growing Smart, an advanced agriculture projects company, and LNC, a top-tier medical cannabis solutions provider. He was also the head of marketing and business development at Netafim, in charge of Asia and Pacific regions. He was appointed to be managing director of the UAE and GCC countries account and spent 4 years in relocation to Japan and Thailand. He was also the co-founder and CEO of Arazim Agro and Agribusiness Consulting Company. And he is a senior lecturer at MATC, International Agricultural Training Center for the Israeli Minister of Foreign Affairs, and the Galilee International Management Institute. It's my pleasure to invite Roy to the stage. And Roy also took part. He's also a friend and took part in our first agriculture trade mission to Sierra Leone before Corona, in a different world. And he joined us in that awesome trade mission. Roy, if I could ask you to just open up your mic and your camera to join me here on stage. Roy, thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much, Shai. Thank you, everybody, for spending the time. And let me just bring up the presentation. As Shai mentioned, my name is Roy Peleg. I'm an agronomist. Many years ago, I used to say that I'm a farmer. But if you look at my palms today, they don't look really the palms of a farmer. But I live, wake up, and go to sleep as thinking about farming and agriculture. And I have to admit that I do miss the days where I was a farmer. I started when I was 17. I did it for a few years. I went to study. I'm an agronomist. I did my first and second degree with the Hebrew University, the Faculty of Agriculture in the Hebrew University of Jerusalem. And I will not repeat my bio because I think Shai did it much better than I could. I wanted to tell you a little bit about growing smart, but I decided that I want to do that in a perspective, in a different perspective, not necessarily just to come and market growing smart and tell you how great we are, but to share with you how we are trying to link growing smart and what we do with the challenges that the agriculture world has today. And as much as I would like to keep a presentation with this kind of nice pictures and tell you that we are doing that and that and that and show you fascinating technology and similar things. I think we all have to admit that we are still far from being where we would like to be in terms of agriculture. And as you know, they say that you need a lawyer once in your life, you need a doctor once in a year, but you need a farmer 3 times a day. And the majority of, and I will say, that people who are in this industry, we have 8, and now probably more, 8 billion end users. And we have to take care of these end users, not just to make sure that we can feed them, but that we can also feed them with a healthy dietary, and to make sure that everybody has sufficient of good quality food available on his plate. However, when we look at agriculture today, I think we will have to admit that the majority of farming in the world still looks like this. Basic, simple, without technology, with limited inputs, unfortunately in many places, especially in Africa, also without a real access to hybrid seeds, which again limits the performance of farmers, limits yields and quality. And I would say this is a little bit of a disappointment, because it seems like the world was going forward, and the fact that each of us can hold today a computer, a GPS, a recorder, a music system, a diary, all his pictures, maybe from the last 10 years, and so on, what we call a PDA or a smartphone. And yet we are still struggling with basic agriculture. And we have to remember that food security is not just a nice thing to say. Obviously, when we go daily to the supermarket or to the market or to the grocery store, we cannot feel what is food security. But 50 years back or 60 years back, we could feed 2 people. We had to feed only 2 people with every hectare of land that we were cultivating. But today, with the same 1 hectare, we have to feed 5 people. So this challenge is real, and we have to see how to manage that. There's a lot of other changes and developments. This picture is from a supermarket in India. I've been in India first time in 1995. I don't think there was any real supermarket. Today, there are franchises all over India, and we know the population of India, and you can imagine what a buying force that has and how that represents the changes in lifestyle and way of living. People have demands. Consumers have demand. Many times people come and tell me, yeah, we don't like the tomatoes we buy today. We like the tomatoes we used to buy 30 years ago. And I remind them that 30 years ago, they would buy tomatoes only in the season. But today they expect to have tomatoes year round. And more than that, they prefer to, they look or they desire to have them in different colors, different types. We have small cherry tomato, we have large table tomatoes, we have coffee tomatoes, zebra tomatoes, high lycopene tomatoes, orange tomatoes, yellow tomatoes, and I can keep going. Adding to that, that branding is becoming very, very important now for people. People want to know where they are sourcing their produce. And I have to tell you that this trend was actually even increasing dramatically in the last 18 months since COVID-19 crisis started. People are actually even tending to buy only local production, but they want to know that it is produced locally. And if it's not, they want to know where it comes from. Can they trust the source? They want to get some details about the produce. If it's starting from calories, going to where it is coming from. And you would be surprised. You may even find some recipes on some of these packages for a tomato salad or for some other cook which is based on tomatoes. So the demand of consumers is completely different today. Talking about year-round supply, we have to grow year-round. In some places we are limited due to climate, whether if it's the cold climate in the winter or if it's challenging, dry and hot weather in some countries in the summer. Labor in agriculture is a big challenge today. You would be surprised. We are building a very large project in China at the moment, and we find it hard to find good young people to come and work with us. Farming is not the most attractive work in the world. Well, I personally love that, but you know, I was probably fortunate to become very quick a skilled labor. But in agriculture, we need unskilled labor. The majority of people who work in farming are unskilled labor. And in Growing Smart, we are also thinking about how to change that paradigm by teaching unskilled labor and provide them with skills that will make them more useful and ease also the load of labor from farmers' shoulders. Again, due to all these demands for quality, year-round supply, variety, people want to have what other people consume in Latin America, or people from Latin America want to consume items that are maybe coming from East Asia. And adding to that, the fact that the world, regardless to all the technology developments and everything we have in hand today, we are still producing but wasting almost 50% of what we produce. And I have to say, it's not just the waste starts in the field, because we cannot market everything we grow. It keeps going when in the cold chain, when we are delivering the produce to the packing house, and from the packing house to short or long storage. And it keeps going when it goes to the shelf in the supermarket or in the market. And unfortunately, the waste continues also in our house and on our plate. So post-harvest is also a very important and large challenge today. If it's potatoes that can be stored for a long period, or if it's different kind of soft fruits like raspberries in this case, which are becoming very, very popular. So the challenges are big, but unfortunately, I have quite a lot of this kind of pictures. So what is then missing? We see all these abandoned greenhouses, for example. And I'm asking, what is missing then? I started to make a list today. Well, not today, a few days ago, when I was preparing for this exciting meeting. And I ended up with a few dozens of issues that I find as challenging today. And those things that and those elements that are missing. But I decided to emphasize on few and try to show you how our offering, Growing Smart's offering, is referring to these possibilities. We are doing it sometimes as part of the value chain. In some cases, we are trying to take responsibility on a longer part of that value chain. And I'll share with you a little bit of what we do. So we deal with three major fields, A to Z projects, where again, we believe that a proper planning, proper specification based on solid knowledge, looking also at the economical aspects and not just the agronomic or technical or infrastructure aspect, will ensure a profitable and successful project. And integration is not just a way to say, well, I don't own anything, I just integrate. It's true, we don't produce anything, but this is also why we have the freedom to really specify and provide our customers with the exact and optimal solution they need. We think that farming well is not sufficient. I was just talking about the challenges that we have as far as post-harvest. So we are trying to promote also simple but very useful post-harvest system. In our case, these are humidity control system to allow or to eliminate water loss of produce in long-term cold storage. And bottom line, we always use the approach of SDK solutions made of technology and knowledge. So I'd like to start with, so as I mentioned, the first field is those A to Z projects. Second pillar of our operation is a knowledge transfer, specifically with our PAC concept, Practical Agriculture courses, which I will elaborate a little bit more in a minute. And finally, precision agriculture with our QUAPA concept. So in the next 3-4 minutes, I'll just go through different kind of images, share with you a little bit more. What you see here, these are Celestina and Prince. I met Prince when he was a student by himself in MATC, part of the Israeli Foreign Affairs Ministry. I'm lecturing there. I have to say that I do that, one, because I really like that, and second, because we feel this is a good way to get in contact with people from all over the world. Again, unfortunately, in the last 1.5 years, I have to do that online, and that's not the same, but that's what it is. This picture was taken in Ghana. We were managing 3 training centers in the last 3 years. In different locations in Ghana. We started in some kind of temporary facilities. I'm always proud to show this picture because from here we went to that. So this is one of the training centers. This is another one. This one is in Dawenia, not far from Accra. The concept we had here was that we had groups of 30 students, usually people who graduated from the university studying agriculture. And they came to this center for 3 months in full board conditions, staying in the farm. Especially now with COVID-19, it was very convenient because we could keep them in kind of a capsule. So we could keep doing that. The only thing we as trainers had to train them online. But since we are using, so these are one of our trainers, as you can see, a lot of the training was done in greenhouses. In each of these farms, we had a commercial green project aside to the training center that you see on the right side. And if you look at the right bottom side, you can see 6 small greenhouses. These were our training greenhouses. We could do whatever we liked there, while the purpose was to teach. And we did everything from growing in soil to growing in soilless, examining and comparing different kind of irrigation methods, fertigation methods on the technical side, on the chemical side, a lot of agrotechnique to teach our students the best way to cultivate. We even did the first grafted plants in Ghana, and I believe that in West Africa. And we used breeding material that we imported to Ghana, but we did everything in the farm. So today people in Ghana know how to produce grafted seedlings. We did a lot of practicality, as you can see, and not just from farming side, but also to train these people to become trainers by themselves. Our program is based on train the trainers concept. So within a relatively short time, we can hand over 60-70% of the course duration to local trainers, while the trainers from Israel or other countries would come to complete it and make sure that we are keeping it always updated and of the highest level we can. Here in the picture, this is Charles. Charles started as a young trainer, and today he's managing one of these training centers. Same goes for Benji. Benji actually was one of the students in the first course. We had 13 courses like this of 3 months, and he became also the academic manager of one of these centers. So, you know, as Prince said, you do not only learn the theory of the crop, but you actually grow it. And Celestina, who works today for a Dutch company, this is the only problem. We train them too good. So then they are very attractive by other companies. But Celestina always admits she was accused with the level of knowledge and the technology that the PAC contribute to her. So we believe that concept of PAC and those centers can be converted after some time to extension services centers and start approaching farmers. Assuming that an expert, regardless if he's local or from overseas, can go and meet farmers when we have hundreds of thousands of these farmers is not really practical. But if we will train local agronomists to approach them, we can reach millions of farmers, and not just in Ghana. Our all-inclusive agriculture project, I'll just give you a quick example. We put a lot of efforts and attention to specification, optimize and utilize to the maximum land and resources. We always pay attention to labor and to ecological aspects. We understand that if we will not use a sustainable approach, you know, the damage farming can cause is much larger, can be much larger than the benefit that you get. So here we had a challenge to build a state-of-the-art farm for the city of Leping in Jiangxi in China. We started with preparing the site, very deep specification and planning process, and building that was completed just before the COVID-19. Unfortunately, we had to stop for almost 1.5 years, but I'm happy to say that these days we are back on site and making everything possible to start cultivating within 3 months. And last but not least, we developed lately a new concept called Crop A, creative realization of precision agriculture. We claim that one of the reasons precision agriculture is not becoming so popular and not something you can find in every field is because it is usually based on a single vertical. So you have precision agriculture solutions for irrigation, and you have those for fertilization, and maybe others for crop protection. And we realize that what is missing is the integrated platform. So our crop concept basically brings inputs from satellites, drones that we fly ourselves, rovers that we developed, like the one you see here on the ground, are using climate data coming from virtual or physical weather station. All that is processed and supported by our CET, the crop expert team, the human factor. And all the data goes into a digital platform, a GIS-based platform, where we analyze, process the information, and the outcome is farming task to our farmers. The concept is not just bringing high technology in use, but more important, it is actually probably one of the only ways to really approach smallholders, because our system can manage on the same time hundreds of plots, which is equivalent to hundreds of smallholders. And we are actually busy now with 2 commercial pilots, and we hope that soon we will start to see if we can implement it also in Africa. And part of the team, as you can see, I'm the guy with the hat that you cannot see his face, but in the center is one of our team member. He's also a farmer from the south part of Israel. We always believe in the practicality. So we have many agronomists, but we will never give up the experience of farmers. So Shai here in the center is a biologist, and Dr. Effie Triple on the right side is an expert for dates, soil, water science, and dates. And both of them are part of our Quopa team. On the right side is Mr. Benny Shimon, one of our team members, our senior team members, and the expert for precision agriculture. He's not an agronomist, but all the technical aspects, the imaging, mapping, and obviously drone operation and so on, they all under Benny's responsibility. And here you can see our rover, a new concept that we are developing, claiming that data should not just be collected from above the canopy or the crop or the plantation, but also from the ground. And this is it. I know I probably used a little bit longer time than I promised, but I can just summarize and say that we wake up in the morning. We are not a huge company. There's about 20 people working small. We operate mainly in Africa and Asia. And recently we started with the other company, with Link, L-I-N-C, which is focusing on medical cannabis and hemp. We're also operating in Latin America. And I just want to wrap and say that when we wake up in the morning, we always remember that we have to follow those values that we committed to. And we really believe that we can, even if it's a small contribution, contribute in changing the world and making it a better place, at least as far as food security. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Learn more about Growing Smart in our website. And I even put my phone here for people who do want to make a direct contact. We believe in people, and we believe people should talk. So thank you very much. Thank you to Empower Africa for their platform and for hosting us. Pleasure.
Thank you very much, Roy. Very interesting and fascinating, as usual, the work that you're doing. And I can only agree more with the values aspect. As you know, we all believe that the values are what drive us and what make us successful and to really make a difference in addition to being successful.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And everybody's welcome to now continue the networking and meeting some great people.